DC Fandome happened, we had a pretty cool trailer for the Batman, but I of course want to talk about the two games that finally after more than a year got some new footage. I did expect a bit more, especially for Gotham Knights, but still what they showed was pretty cool, same for Justice League, although the biggest questions remain unanswered. We still don't have a clear picture of how these games will actually play, especially because they are different compared to the previous single player only Arkham titles. So let's dive in, looking at what we learned and what I still hope to see and if they are able to stick that landing. If you like these big Sunday videos, then leaving a like on the video would of course really help me out. And let's go. Yes, I know I'm a bit late, I had some other content to focus on and wanted to still post it on a typical Sunday, so we're back with the Sunday videos. And also some interesting news happened in this last week that is interesting to include. And one tweet I saw was from Simon, a designer on Gotham Knights. He mentioned that the release date is coming soon, relax. Because many people, including myself, really expected a release date for this game that was of course delayed from 2021 to 2022, but all we got was this 2022 year. Worth noting is that that tweet from Simon was by the way removed. That's why you see the Wayback Machine here. He wasn't supposed to say that, I guess, because really the two possible spots where this can be during Game Awards, the big December 9th show where Warner has been revealing things in the past, or the newly announced State of Play happening in a few days on October 27th. And what we got extra like reasons to believe that because actually before the State of Play announcement, a Reset Era user noticed that Sony updated some game websites on their platform, including the one for Gotham Knights. Like, would be wild if they revealed the date here, but I think at least some new footage might be a safe bet. I still think first half of 2022, April or May, especially because Suicide Squad is also still 2022, but we will have to wait and see. So yeah, that's one big question I hope we would have the answer to, but no, instead the trailer focused on something we knew was going to be a big part of this game ever since the developer t-shirt tease all the way back in 2018. And of course, the announcement trailer last year had teases of the Court of Owls near the end too. Still really cool to see the spotlight on this mysterious enemy faction though, because as far as I can recall, we haven't really seen it in games before. First things first, we learned that Gordon is actually also dead in this game, just like Batman. We see the Penguin, who shares some information about the Court of Owls to Nightwing about how going down this rabbit hole means that there's no coming back from it. And the trailer did a great job at showcasing why. I really love the mysterious and kind of horror feel they went for, and these Talon look pretty creepy and deadly when coming towards you in large numbers. They also made a new Brute archetype with a massive mace and a shield that can even shoot things from afar. And the Court of Owls is also known for their complicated mazes, and I think we get a look at one in the sewers under Gotham City, so high chance that a big section of the game has to survive through many different challenges. Not only fights, but it seems that they will also test your agility thanks to traps that we have to dodge. And we actually saw a bit of that in the behind the scenes trailer they also released, which actually had quite a lot of footage of the Court of Owls underground area. Also really intrigued by Batgirl with an all mask. Would be awesome if that's like an outfit piece we can unlock, or maybe it's an hallucination, which actually common after spending too much time in these labyrinths. We also see Alfred from the looks of it briefly, maybe unable to help the knights in the sewers as his computers seem to be hacked. Many people are by the way speculating that Batman is actually not dead. We saw that at the start of the first reveal trailer, which I would guess is like the start of the game, or maybe the introduction video when you boot up the game too. No, but that instead Batman got brainwashed and captured by the Court of Owls, so maybe we actually fight him in the end, which would be a cool twist. I would not say that it's comparable to the Captain America being so-called dead in Marvel's Avengers. That was more obvious that was totally not the case, but I still like this Batman theory for Gotham Knights. They also updated the website by the way with multiple tiles, 4 of which are locked, and the middle one, the Court of Owls, is now revealed. So maybe this hints at multiple enemy factions or just pillars of Gotham City in general. Will totally be worth keeping an eye on the official website for sure. And another thing that caught my attention was the fact that they once again introduced this as an action RPG.
First up, an action RPG based on some of the most...
Like we of course saw those damage numbers in last year's gameplay reveal. There are levels for these enemies. We have a 2-player co-op in total. But it's still unclear how the progression is going to work. And I really hoped we would get some answers during DC Fandome. But to be fair, I have even more questions about Suicide Squad. Like, sure, we finally got in-game footage. It looks pretty sharp. It's of course a next-gen only game where Gotham Knights still launches on PS4 and Xbox One as well. I love the designs for the DC heroes, all taken over by Brainiac. We of course see Superman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman too, although she doesn't seem to be corrupted, but still fighting the Suicide Squad. Although later on in the trailer we see her take on Superman himself. So maybe she will be joining our side to fight against these DC heroes. Would be pretty cool. Other characters include the Penguin of course at the end. Poison Ivy might be reborn, looking at her plans here. Gizmo seems to be our weapons supplier. And I love the baseball bat from Harley here with the Batman toy. We of course know that there's weapon customization, so I'm curious how it's going to work. And seems like the squad is also getting some nice weapons from the Hall of Justice supply room with different tools for each characters. Nice spot from IGN. I will link to their trailer breakdown in the video description. And they also mentioned that there might be a Batman imposter, because we're still in the Arkham universe. Batman is of course also here, like at the start of the trailer we once again see that it's indeed in the Rocksteady universe, and at one point we see a hand with a pistol with in the back, again as pointed out by IGN, the Batman experience. At least it could be that. And then later on we see this person point the pistol towards Harley, which might be someone pretending to be Batman, could be a big reveal. I think we can say that everyone seems to be here, and I still love the fact that we're actually taking on the heroes in potentially really cool boss fights instead of the other way around like we saw in Avengers. But yeah, this is a live service co-op type game, like Marvel's Avengers. And if you made a trailer for that game with cool cutscenes back to back, it would look pretty cool as well. The point is that we still have no clue how this game is going to work, how it's going to play. We did learn last year that it will be a 1 to 4 player co-op game where you can switch between characters as you please. If you play single player, you will still have a full squad with you, with bots taking over the others. Okay, but how good will the AI be? Will it still be fun alone? Can I command the other characters? How's the progression going to work? Will there be a gear grind? Because it looks to be a looter shooter or slasher, of course, depending on the character you choose. The world and graphics at least seem great, and the story has me intrigued too, but what is the moment-to-moment gameplay? I think it's fine that Warner chose to hype up these games with cutscene-driven trailers during DC Fandome, but it's clear that they don't believe in single-player only games anymore, because the previous titles in the series were single-player only, but now we're getting co-op in Gotham Knights, and Suicide Squad even takes it to the next level, potentially turning into a real live service game. And sure, it seems like they got a ton of enemies to fight. We got a big open world likely to explore, so it will be very interesting how it shakes out. Like, that was one of the downfalls from Avengers, that there was just not a lot of content at launch. But with them already working on it for 6 years, Arkham Knight of course released in 2015, so they have 7 years when the game comes out. So really hope they spend that on a lot of post-launch stuff too. Again, it's fine that they chose the second spotlight to just be like hype up trailers, but it's going to be very interesting to see if they stick the landing where, again, Avengers failed. They could not communicate what the game was, and when it released they had a single player campaign, but they shoehorned in live service like elements. Like, how is Suicide Squad going to do that? And will Gotham Knights still be fun alone when maybe a lot of the things are scaled for 2 players? We really don't know a lot about how these things shake out, and I really trust those teams. Those teams are amazing, but they haven't really dabbled into this genre yet. Like Crystal Dynamics made some great games too. They kind of struggled with Avengers, so will be really cool or interesting and cool to see more of the games. And yeah, you already see it. I got some merchandise from DC Fandome from Warner, so thanks for that. Also got really cool comics from Wonder Woman, for example. Woo, looks awesome. I really love this one. Batman the World, another comic. Looks really, really cool. I, by the way, made a social post about it if you want to see the full package. Again, Warner Bros. Thanks for that. We'll be covering the game. We'll be following it. So when we get new footage, I will talk about it here. Totally subscribe for more videos. A like on the video would, of course, really help me out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And totally check out my previous Gotham Knights video with details that we learned around the reveal by clicking on the screen. For now, I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.